everybody. Welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 165, Casual Conversations 83. Hope everyone's doing well out there. You know how it is. My name is Bradley Bowes. My constitutional rights, Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 7, are violated so profoundly I can't start a career or family. So I've been socially isolated so profoundly that I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. There is nothing I can do. There is nowhere I can go. There is no one I can call. I'm going to be tortured until the day that I die because I don't know how to behave. So, another 3 days go by, and of course we have another loose leaf sheet of paper filled up with fucking retards. So you know how we doing it? We dive into some current events and talking points, relevant and random stories. I do have one story. Again, I existed. I interact with your incompetent, retarded children. They don't know how to behave. They get offended, and then they scapegoat me. So has that stopped happening with any exposure to any groups of people at any point in time? No. Wherever two or more are gathered, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna hate Brad. So we've been rocking on our good and artwork. Getting having it's a little too big of a slit there, but just some visuals, some ancient symbolism that you can ponder what those might be, but you never know. But we've been did a TV review yesterday. Like I said, I like the Aussie banter. I like Mr. In Between. I'll definitely stick with that for season 3. Doing my book club. Haven't really. And again, absolutely fucking hilarious. Again, because I solved all this stuff without reading these things directly. Again, grew up in a Christian Catholic environment, but never read the Bible through and through. Solved all of science and went and read all of these history books and realized, here's where it is what it is at every step of the way. Tolstoy, 1,227 pages, syllable by fucking syllable. I got Charles Dickens halfway done over here, been sitting here forever. I don't care. This shit's so old, I don't care. Once 2-3 years go by, it's just in the past. After, again, how many books did I send you guys graded the same way? About 30 fucking 5. So it's all I'm doing with the history book. But again, the vibration being things without form, storing of family, but then also the use of qubit as a measurement. Literally in the book of Genesis, it has the measurement of which quantum computing qubits. It says qubit right in there. So that was unexpected but funny. But again, completely consistent with what I'm saying, and it's a parallel. Again, reading the Bible particularly is connected to this lecture series. But I might do other books again, just maybe like I said, I read the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, maybe some letters or something of important historical significance. But that'll probably take me 6 months. I don't know. Just whenever I feel like sitting down and reading for 30 minutes to an hour. But again, easy content. And so, now let's get into it. But I haven't touched a musical instrument in a while. There's no interest. I've ever put out 10 albums. Again, there's only so many chord progressions, only so many things to develop. There's always infinite you can write, but once you have so much stuff out there, I just want something to work. So it's just like, I'll probably do music if that ever kicks off, but Weinstein said, someone's just blowing up, when you're dealing with someone of more intelligence than you, and he gets slightly offended on Twitter and blocks me as he's kicked me out of society. So fuck music and fuck the whole music industry as well. But I got suspended from Twitter again for a quote, potentially offensive or abusive content. I was banned for 12 hours. I wasn't banned, I was only on my followers, which was 23 bots could find. And I'm just literally in the same way I do these lecture series, in the same way I stand outside and lecture, in the same way I do logical derivation at every point of my day. And I'm doing the same thing on Twitter, and then Sean Carroll and Eric Weinstein, because they've kicked me out of my profession. If I was a lecturing professor, a well-known intellectual, or a musician, or a business owner, it'd be Bradley Bowes and a blue check mark. But because you guys have kicked me out because of actual criminal activity, again, it's fucking hilarious. Violating, getting blocked on Twitter, where you guys are literally committing treason and racketeering at the highest level possible. And so it is what it is, motherfuckers. You guys are so fucked. And those feds telling you to literally, you will go to jail if you don't commit treason. That is the most shameful thing you've ever lived. In the same way we're reading the Bible, and we skip over the parts where just people listing names. You guys won't be remembered like that. You guys will not be remembered for anything besides treating me like fucking shit and slowing down the progress of the human species. So keep it up. Keep violating all of your own laws. Keep violating international laws and killing people. Suppressing science kills people. Everybody involved in that is killing people. Mila Kunis raises $23 million for Ukraine. You're a dumb bitch and you're killing people. Publish my fucking paper. That is the bridge we have to cross. That is what we have to do to move forward in this society, and we can. But I just have free speech is going well. I think I tweeted at Carrie Lake. I think I said, shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. And because she's talking about denying an election as the premier judge of the entire human species. We have Andrew Tate. I tweeted at him. I think I said, "Fuck your bitch, your life, bitch." And he has another fun tagline that I've recently learned. And I followed Andrew Tate on Twitter now for a little bit. He's just a frat boy that never grew up and he got popular, and so he just enjoying his popularity is 3 to 5 years of making some fucking money. But he says by hook or by crook. So either I'm gonna violently assault you or I'm gonna steal it. What a top dog, Andrew Tate, big Cobra Tate. You're such a man. You're either gonna be violent like a beta male fuck, or you're gonna be a fucking criminal. So yeah, man, what a great leader that guy fucking is. He's just a frat boy that never grew up. Said he's from the streets of Romania. His brother looks like a fucking faggot too. Sure, he can't fucking fight, and I don't fight. And I love it. Andrew Tate's on there. I don't know which podcast I watched. I think it was with the Nelk boys. I'm still not exactly sure who's in part of the Nelk cast. So, but they're talking about, the first stage being canceled. I am canceled. I am fucking canceled. There's nobody else on this fucking earth that is canceled like me. Not even close. And then he's like, first they cancel you, then they try to cancel you again, and then the third option is this. Fun fact, Andrew Tate, you cock the hammer and pull the trigger. So I don't take too many street dudes that do this instead of this. So I don't know if you know what you're talking about, Andy, on that one, big guy. But by hook or by crook. Crooks get fucking shot and I don't fight. So. But just a fucking frat boy and an absolute fucking loser. He also said, he had another good quote. I think we'll get to that. I'll try to keep it in order. But he says, yeah, he did have another thing. He says, top coward Andrew Tate only fucks illiterate whores like the loser he is. He tweeted he only sleeps with unvaccinated women. Nothing says top G like engaging in reckless behavior because your dumb whores of women don't know how to fucking behave. Again, definitely not engaging in reckless behavior and saying it confidently into the wind like the fucking idiot he is. Definitely not doing that. Everyone's like, oh, he's a smart guy. No, he's not. He's just a fucking frat boy. He doesn't make more money than me. He doesn't talk better than me. Let's do an experiment, Andrew Tate. Any woman that would ever want to sleep with your dumb ass, just one. If I'm ever allowed to integrate into society, let's just see who wants to take every girl that would ever want to fuck you and introduce them to my life, and let's see how many girls want to stay with you. And I just want one girl. I don't want a bunch of whores. So, top G, Andrew Tate, by hook or by crook. Keep your distance, you fucking loser. And if you ever have kids, which I hope you don't, they're going to be stealing from me at school. But they're probably too illiterate. As you're over there in Qatari and Saudi Arabia saying the West has no values. Nobody has any fucking values. And by any stretch, the Qataris and the Saudis and the Iranians, they're pretty far behind. So, yeah, live by God. How many people that, again, as a strictly historian, have no idea what the fuck the word religion is supposed to mean? How many people that claim to be religious in any context have sat down and read the Bible through and through, actually? How many people who were born into a culture that went to a church once a week and felt community and heard some dude called a priest reading some verses just randomly, as opposed to a book cover to cover, as you should do with any book? Yeah. So all those people of God, of Jesus, who again, you so fucking clear say it's about two different fucking people. And God being Aaron, being profoundly before the first written account of family history, of writing shit down because we're too busy herding our sheep and trying to live a life like anybody else today is, as opposed to, forming a religion. God. So Andrew Tate's an absolute fucking idiot. We had another public personality come out as extremely honest. We have Liver King, found to be using $12,000 a month in human growth hormone. LOL to the 69th power. Now, again, I told you my lifting career, I looked into pro-hormone, which is more or less after the first pass metabolism steroids. Didn't end up doing anything with it. But if you know what you're doing, and I've looked into exercise science my entire life, it definitely seems if you know what you're doing, you can take steroids safely. I don't recommend it. I don't take steroids. I would take, again, the fucking stem cells and peptides to get back to standardized health. But I just get my muscular skeleton system back on track. But I just have no interest in lifting weights. Like I said, there's physical limits. I'm not going to be the strongest person ever. I don't care to be. And I just, at this point, after being injured for so long, I just don't want to be fucking injured. So if I can get my health back on track, then I'll be back in the gym again. But just been doing low weights and not giving a fuck about heavy weights at all. And so, but what's super fucking funny is saying, the raw liver diet, testicles eat livers, and again, if you have liver problems, you should eat liver. If you have this problem, you should eat this cell. Because again, it's going to be integrated or replaced, right? Your cells replace themselves every 7 years. If you consume the organ, regardless of what it is, it's going to be differentiated in a way that's going to be integrated into your health better. And so, super funny from the public persona, and the actual use of steroids, if you know what you're doing with somebody that knows what they're doing, seems to be rather safe, to be honest. Fleetwood Mac's Christine McVie dies at 79. Obviously, again, I don't know if that band's from the 70s or the 80s, before my time, certainly as a music connoisseur. I just logged in I'm listening, streaming Spotify, 94% of everybody else on the planet. And again, that's like one of many avenues of content consumption that I do every day, all day, 3 screens in front of my face, basically throughout the entire day. So I didn't really know Christine McVie's writing. She's supposed to be a really fast writer, and I tried to be a musician, didn't work out too well. But I don't really know the band's music. I knew of the band, the name, but a couple of the songs they played just like at her memorial or just, on the TV, her news press releases, seemed like bops, seemed pretty fun. So, R.I.P. to Christine McVie in the music space. Again, I got kicked out of the music venue after I got kicked out of the science industry. So I never really got into music, but it sounded like some good music. So like we said in my television review, we had a couple really good previews coming up. We have Cocaine Bear, hits the theaters in February. Trailers are heating up, better than superheroes. So we got the Cocaine Bear and Violent Night, which look to me like 2 raunchy, fun things. Just different types of movie that I'll certainly watch. It can be raunchy, it can be just fucking out there, it can be stupid as fuck. If it's entertaining, it's going to get a good rating from me. And they said that the Cocaine Bear is actually based on a true story. Cocaine is a local anesthetic if it's digested. So I don't think you would get really high. If it was wrapped up properly, you'd have a stomach ache, and if it burst, just like mules that have cocaine wrapped up in their stomachs, it doesn't get them high. If the packaging burst, the bear would probably almost certainly die instantly. Because I don't know if it would die from like diarrhea, but if you had consumed a kilo of cocaine and the thing busted open and your entire internals went numb, what the actual cause of death would be, I'm not sure, but you wouldn't be running around like you just snorted a bunch of cocaine. Somebody who's never, again, I can't tolerate 70 milligrams of caffeine. But, so that looks like a raunchy, fun movie, but if a bear actually consumed cocaine, it would almost just certainly instantly die once the packaging broke. So that would be my guess. So if it says it's based on a true story, I'd like to, to me that's the only outcome of massive consumption orally of cocaine for a bear. Again, we have it in human beings. If a drug mule has a packet burst open, they can die. So I don't see why that would be any different for a bear. So we have our great intellectual of the finance space, Sam Bankman-Fried, who sounds like an absolute fruit cup retard, gives interviews with George Stephanopoulos and takes some questions from Andrew Ross Sorkin from Team CNBC. Are people buying it? And a nice $20 billion net worth go down to $100K. So I reported on net worth when I said that'd be cool to be worth $23 billion. No, I'm worth more than Sam Bankman-Fried. But I don't commit fraud, so that's still funsies. But are people buying it? I doubt it. Certainly Mike Novogratz wasn't fucking buying it. But Mike Novogratz, you're all upset, buddy, because you gave him money and now it's fraudulently taken from you and now you're upset. Well, I'm upset. My entire life's been taken from me, Mike Novogratz. It is what it is. Are you aware of that statement? Are you aware of my work to any capacity at all? And you make investments. You are stealing intellectual property. So you don't like to lose money with fraud. I don't like to lose my entire life with fraud. But I'm not privileged. I don't get to live a fucking handout life on a silver fucking platter. Go on CNBC. Go enjoy my weekend after the halftime with Scott Wapner. I just don't. I just work all day, literally day in and day out. The instant I stop clicking record, I'm going to go back up and write more talking points as I'm editing this fucking video. So, I don't think anyone's buying it. I don't think they should. I don't care, even if you think, who said it, another big investor, short white-haired dude, not Jamie Dimon, but another dude in the investment space I'm blanking on right now. But he's like, I'm kind of buying it or something. I'm not, because I think what happened is Sam Bankman-Fried was a young 20-year-old or mid-20-year-old that didn't know how to fucking behave, get some money, get some progress, get some social attention, and then wants to make more money, and genuinely commits fraud. Like every police officer that I interact with that genuinely commits menacing, harassment, intimidation, violates the Fourth Amendment, does all of these things, and they just don't know what they're doing. And then they get caught, and they're like, well, everybody else was doing it. Well, everybody else behaved like that. Again, as our entire species spreads our shitty behavior to every single person. We sit in our pockets of 5 to 10 to 50 people, and then we all just judge each other, and nobody knows how to behave besides Brad. So I 100% think this is fraud. I don't think it's an accident in any fucking way, even if what he's saying is extremely true. Nobody's managing $10 billion in consumer funds. And Kevin O'Leary and the Compound and Friends getting hosted in Europe, and it's the name of the Dallas Maverick Stadium, or maybe not the Mavericks, but like some stadium somewhere, maybe the Dallas Cowboys or something. But so again, we have our superhero, we have our Sam Bankman-Fried, we have all of our investors jerking off like here's a real, like Mark Cuban says, real billion-dollar opportunities are rare. So here's a real billion-dollar opportunity, a crypto exchange, and then $10 billion of consumer funds aren't managed by anybody. There's not like a clear dude to run that. My God. Sounds like my business partner Cario. Oh, we're doing numbers for the longest time. Well, then what the fuck are you doing? So no, I'm not buying it. Again, I think he's saying it's truth, but it's still fraudulent. But like Mark Cuban says, as long as you commit enough crime, right? This fraud, maybe you might go to jail, might not. Edward compared to Edward Snowden leaking information, he has to swear allegiance to Russia and leave the country. Other people doing data leaks, and everybody is committing conspiracy at the global scale to the point where it kills millions of human beings every single year. I don't give a fuck about the death. I just want mine and the fuck away from you freaks. So shout out to Sam Bankman-Fried to being for an absolute just fucking piece of shit. I'm definitely thinking Ethiopia was the first large human society. Where in Africa? Again, where was life originated from the human species? I don't know where in Africa, but I'm certainly after Herodotus, certainly thinking Ethiopia was certainly the first large-scale civilization on known recorded human history. The first form of communication would be body language. Andrew Huberman brought that up. Maybe dancing would be the first form of communication. What's communication? Anything that transmits information. So the first thing, there would be no technology from any species. They'd be out there on their native planets. And they would look at the posture of another individual. Where if you see a cat like getting real low, it's probably getting ready to pounce. You look at its body language, it communicates information. That's communication. So certainly after 2 seconds of thought, the first form of communication would be body language. Okay, we have a very important linguistic thing to discuss here. What do we call this city here? We're not on Long Island, we're in Long Island. What is this word here? Q-U, avec, agu, be-say, uk, book, book. I was going to say a heavy French accent, that is how that would be pronounced. I hear people say Quebec. En français, et. So I think that's K-book was how you would say that properly. But whatever it is, Quebec, Quebec, K-book, that's how it would be said. Sets plan to bar most immigrants who don't speak French. And then we have Q-U-E-B-E, soir. So that would be K-Bay soir. So K-Bay soir is directly pronunciation to me. When I hear Quebec, I don't have no idea. That is no. That is definitely K. Now I even say in the shitty English, I would say Quebec. But I'm sounding out last syllable first, Francais, uk, book, a book, K-book. That's how I pronounce that word. But I hear all the time people saying Quebec or Quebec. I say Quebec in my shitty English. That would be that's an a, b, s, d, we. But regardless, that was just interesting. The first guy's shin were albino entonces pirates. The first outsiders were albinos, then pirates. Again, first large-scale human civilization, almost certainly out of Ethiopia, certainly towards the equator, would be our dark skins, our red bones. And in high school, people said red bones meant lighter skins. If my bones are red, my skins would be darker than if my bones were yellow. Yellow bone, light skin, red bone, dark skin. Come correct with the culture. I don't care if anybody says that is the correct interpretation. If I have red bones, my skin would be darker. But with Ethiopia being the first large-scale civilization, people being on the equator, obviously dark skins, but just by genetic difference. Again, we've talked about this a little bit, but not European white, but literally like albino people. And so that would certainly be the first like kind of outsiders. It's like, we don't want the dirty Hebrews the Egyptians don't want the dirty Hebrews buried with them. Well, it's like, we're not going to kill these people that are born genetically albino, so we're just going to kick them out. So we put them on a pirate ship. And then we sail over somehow and get to Nordic land somehow, somewhere through Asia. But Asia's still kind of like darker skins. So, yeah, just historical conjectures. Very, very, very confident on that. Again, at confidence interval 99%. The first outsiders of the group would be albino skins, and that's where I'm conjecturing that is where pirates came from, in the general. Bowling, I could hand a lanes update. Got back on the lanes 2 days ago. Got my first average above or at 150. Which was a bump up. Again, last time I went, my average, again, pretty consistent at 125. So bowled pretty well. Felt pretty good on the lanes. I did 5 games. The average was 150. Low was 137. High 168. The other games were 145, 146, and 155. And I missed like 4 or 5 turkey attempts. So my next 1 foot in front of the other on my road to the 300 over 10 years in bowling is capitalizing on my turkey attempts. I had 4 or 5. Again, turkey and bowling is when you get 3 strikes in a row. So I had 4 or 5 in my 5-game session the other day. And when I went this last time, there was absolutely nobody in the alley, and I went like right at the open. So I'll try to get just some footage to put it up there, get just a little vlog, put something else in these things, little cutaway screens. Probably won't make it a series of its own. But feeling pretty good on the lanes. So now we have Kanye West says he likes Hitler. Ari Shafir wasn't offended by the original comments. And that was Ari Shafir, who is a Jew, he is a comedian, has a special cult Jew. Literally, I was watching his episode on Flagrant, as a guest on Flagrant with Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh. And he's up there, like saying like Kanye West things weren't super offensive, his little edgy, little out there, but not super offensive. At the same time, Kanye's literally like on Alex Jones, like saying I like Hitler. So again, what do I make of this scenario? Again, from the original comments saying DEFCON 3, that was certainly in the form of analogy of a Super Saiyan. So now he's going to step it up. Again, and then just watch a Ben Shapiro clip, and it's like, he's clearly having a mental breakdown, and it's people don't mentally break down if you've grown up, right? That's what I'm saying, is there is no mental illness like this. We have a person that was famous, an illiterate person that was famous, and an arrogant illiterate person that is famous. Again, in the historical context, what is a Jew? The Hebrews spoke Yiddish. What is Jewish? They spoke Hebrew, but they came from a Yiddish tradition. So Yiddish makes sense to me as a people. Jews doesn't. A religion is just saying I'm in this group, right? It just doesn't make any historical sense to me at all. Again, not a fan of Kanye West, not defending Kanye West, just breaking down the historical situation, what's going on. So obviously we have World War II, the terribleness of Hitler. Again, saying DEFCON 3 on the Jews to me would be less of going over the line than specifically praising a mass murderer, a genocidal maniac. So saying Alex Jones kind of sets him up, and he's like, you're not a Jew, you're not this, you're not that. And it's important for the context is Alex Jones, again, obviously raging conspiracy theorist, but he's trying to set up the conversation in a way where Kanye West can be like, oh yeah, easily, I was just defending this or saying that. And then he goes on to say, go watch the whole clip, but he goes on to say that everybody has, he says, I like Hitler, and then everybody has value that they bring to the table. No. A mass-murdering genocidal maniac does not bring anything to the table. In the same way when we talk about abortion, you put a newborn baby and just sit on the table, what societal value does it have objectively? A beautiful life absolutely should be cared for and loved and nurtured with every mechanism you can. Does it have any value to society? No. It needs to be nurtured or it will just sit there and die. And so, value to society. He committed tremendous detriment to society. He killed a bunch of fucking people. And so, but that's the thing, the general sentiment is, again, because Kanye West is, again, semi-trying to be a Christian or semi-trying to be this, and again, there's no religion to me at all. There's none at all. And so it's people misinterpreting history and then projecting their insecurities onto whatever group of people they like the best. And so, the praising an individual as opposed to the DEFCON 3 comment, certainly more aggressive. Anti-Semitical, praising the person that killed a bunch of Jews. I would call that anti-Semitical as someone who, again, doesn't understand what religion is, so like anti-Semite doesn't mean anything, but bigotry against a group is hate speech. So it's praising the guys that murdered the people as opposed to just an offhand comment about the group, I definitely think is more aggressive. He says, I like Hitler, everyone has some value. And then Alex Jones gets visibly uncomfortable, which is funny, that everybody's commenting on. But he also posted a swastika logo. So now he's getting to actually what do you do about it? Do I, now taking that away from, is it anti-Semitical or bigotry against a group? Yes. Is it an incitation of violence? I would say praising a mass murderer is getting very, very, very fucking close. And again, like I said many times, if I could prevent one death, I don't give a fuck about any death, but it is a practice, what the fuck do I do if I was a moderator of a Twitter, of an Instagram, of social media, and I could prevent one death, I would block Kanye West on the Twitter. Which obviously has occurred. Again, no respect for Elon Musk, that guy's a fucking idiot all the way around, no respect for him at all. But I don't think the comments are actually incitation of violence, but in our 7% maturity of species, I do think it's the right thing to block him, as well as not host him on air. But I don't think he's having a mental breakdown, because again, you don't break down, you grow up. And so it's just people with privilege. And then their privilege starts to go away, their attention starts to go away, their reputation changes, and then they go in through the learning up process with a ton of fucking money, a ton of attention, and they've been privileged and entitled their entire lives. And so again, the mental illness conversation makes no sense to me. Mental illness without pathology doesn't exist, and this is just the thing that's getting him current attention. But again, practical matters, I agree with blocking him, not hosting him on things. I disagree with it's any sort of mental health in the terms of he's got bipolar or he's got this or that. It's just again, mental illness is the insecurity we've accepted as a species, and he just exists in that analogy. And so. Good stuff from Kanye, but really, like again, when I say I know what Hebrews are and I know what Yiddish is, I'm not exactly sure what Jewish is. So that's what I make of our wonderful, and on a personal level, Kanye West. A lot of people won't. They'll still try to call you a musical genius. You're a fucking nobody, brother. You're nobody. So again, he's a musical genius of a producer. Producing music is for retards in the musicianship. First take everything, improv everything. I guess I don't first take my written songs, but I don't edit things, I don't produce things. It's harmonized, ready to go, the instant it's fucking done. So try to just focus on music, Kanye. Just try to do something, brother. Moving on. So I got another little talking point from Michael Franzese's YouTube channel. He said the Catholic Church refused to give John Gotti a funeral. LOL. How about your pedophiles? Pope Francis. Do you have more scholars, all of your bishops and cardinals in Italy? Or do they have a better interpretation or proof of what that little book is, buddy? And now we're not going to give a funeral. In the Catholic Church, as Michael Franzese points out very well, somebody who's not religious in any way, and I don't really believe in forgiveness. I just believe in consistency. And so, frankly, I don't believe in anything. I prove shit. I literally just state facts. It's not an exaggeration. And so, again, let's just consider the whole scenario, right? Jesus, if you forgive on your deathbed, you'll be welcomed into heaven. If you're on the cross, looks to the guy next to me, you'll be with me in paradise. So again, that's it. Everyone's hypocrites. The Catholic Church doesn't even do what the Catholic Church says it's supposed to do, and forget that, they don't even know what the fucking book is. And so it's just a group of people based on shitty historical interpretations. They pump in their insecurities. No abortion, no female priests. Again, that's not misogynistic. Not letting women have the ability to speak and interpret text. Women can't read Catholic Church? Or they're just not smart enough to interpret? Which one is it? And Spotlight comes out, we're all touching each other, and it's a big scandal, we're all moving them around. But they're going to get funerals and respect. We can't bring shame to the Catholic Church, and they were raging hypocrites. But yeah, again, as someone who doesn't give a fuck about a funeral, the minute I'm dead, you can piss on me, cut me up, I don't care, desecrate my body, I don't give a fuck. Once I'm out of my meat suit, do whatever the fuck you want with this shit. But, yeah, and then John Gotti, okay, yeah, a murderer of people who signed up. As far as, again, I don't know if John Gotti had hits on innocence, I don't fucking know. But again, I consider any sort of consented action extremely low anything. Again, they're doing it out in public, right? The mob's integrated into society. But again, we let people get into rings and boxers punch each other and they can fall down and die very legitimately. It has happened before. And so we hide away our pedophilia from the priests and the actual church members themselves, and they get prestige and get paid and get respected in funerals. And then, as someone who doesn't understand why anyone would give a fuck about a funeral, in certainly any sort of religious context, whatever that means, whatever the word religion is supposed to mean. But the Catholic Church is raging hypocrites. And so, yeah, just directly in violation of what Jesus said. So fucking stupid. 10,000 to 13,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed in conflict. Again, we got Vladimir facing off with Volodymyr. We're all killing each other, we're all torturing each other. Neither side will publish a science paper that will absolutely change sentiment of individual people. Wouldn't stop a war, would absolutely change the progress of the sentiment of the species. And when the FBI says, how would that help? God bless you, have a nice day, in God we trust. That's how he changed society. People can't open their mouths and sneeze without someone saying, God bless you. So yeah, that would never help. Profound education, global sentiment change, good vibes only for the entire fucking species. When Christmas comes up and you feel elated, you feel jubilation, you feel excited to be around your family, you feel the love and joy and warmth. That is what science does. That is what I mean by sentiment fucking changes. The difference between an average fucking Wednesday and Christmas morning with a good family. That's the fucking difference. But 10 to 13,000 Ukrainians, not sure how many Russians, didn't get a stat on that. Both sides torturing and killing each other. Not my problem, I did everything I could to educate. Currently getting 20 plus harassing phone calls on a business day, and I probably don't even qualify for healthcare. Please end my life. Again, signed up on healthcare.gov. I don't even think I put in a phone number, don't really remember for sure, but I get literally 30 calls a day. Hey, are you 60 plus? You might qualify for more Medicare. And I thought Medicare was literally free. And so if it's not literally free, I don't want anything. And so now I try to get healthcare, and now I get 30 more harassing phone calls a day. And I don't go 2 to 3 days without another major harassing or denigrating or disrespectful or flatly illegal interaction in person. So, yeah, my quality of life literally just gets less. Yeah, I probably don't even qualify. So I tried to sign up to get something useful to maybe get a flu shot, and now I get harassed 30 times a day. Awesome. We have an arrest warrant issued for Antonio Brown for misdemeanor battery stemming from an incident on November 28th. Another absolute fucking Looney Tune. Again, Kanye West is the most severe of the cases. But we also have Antonio Brown. And who was the other dude that Mark Cuban helped? Russell Westbrook? No, not Russell Westbrook. Some other dude. The dude that Mark Cuban picked up at the gas station and then went homeless again like 2 years later. People don't know how to behave, they have to behave for themselves. And if they don't, they're going to revert to primitive behavior. And so Antonio Brown, I'm going to resort to violence and hit a woman. What a more strong men, more hardworking, great people. They're just illiterate fucking idiots. There's Andrew Tate, Antonio Brown, Kanye West, Patrick Bet-David, Mark Cuban, Joe Biden, Joe Manchin. I just wish my homie that smoked fat doinks in Amos hadn't left us yet. He was a real one. Uh-oh! Boom, boom, what's that? Uh-oh, uh-oh, gunfire, wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo. Uh-oh, defensive positions. We have a mass shooter. Uh-oh, oh, never mind. That was just my 10-year-old niece, or nephew. His mom, my sister, wanted to get him an Oculus. 10-year-old in Milwaukee shoots his mom point blank, killing her, after refusing to buy him an Oculus VR headset. Make sure my bulletproof helmet's on. And he's charged as an adult. Showed no remorse when, after murking his mother, went online and ordered a Oculus headset, and then asked if it was almost here. So sorry for that emergency, guys, right there. Just heard some gunshots. Not really in real life, it's a joke, it's a skit, obviously. But it was just my 10-year-old niece, or nephew, not getting his Christmas presents, taking out my sister. So, sorry for the alert there. I thought it was a mass shooting. Don't worry, it was just a 10-year-old killing his mother over a VR headset. So that was a good one. Charged as an adult. Yeah, good, sweet. Now how about all those adults killing children because they won't publish science? Should we charge them as an adult? No, we just don't charge them at all. We didn't know, no way, no sereno. Commit enough crime, stuff down UFOs for 60 years, be too illiterate to understand what cannabis does, even though it's directly evident and empirical, and just say, well, charge a 10-year-old with as an adult, and I think you should. 10's interesting. 10's an interesting age, but for such a severe crime, no remorse, yeah, fuck them. Again, because if you demonstrate consent, if you're a 10-year-old and you're demonstrating the primitive behavior of your average 17 to 18-year-old gangbanger, fuck you. Been always critical of the behavior, and again, I was a full-blown researching adult at the age of 12, so I don't have much. And again, you might not be doing mathematical research, but you should be able to make basic fucking decision-making skills by the age of 12 for real. And so, fuck that guy. Pentagon debuts its new stealth bomber, the B-21 radar. Pros and cons of displaying military power. I think in general it'd be better to display them, right? It's better to, the military is basically saying, if you fuck with us, here's what we can fuck with you. So if you have a ton of stuff that is like your major, certainly you have some sort of reconnaissance or things that other countries don't know about. But I think in general, just as a ret, is a super out of the know military dude, not military dude at all, but like historian or like operating a fucking military type deal. I think it'd make more sense to show off your guns and like your firepower, just like a bear or a red panda gets all big or any animal postures. I think that's more important than having unknown firepower should shit get out of hand. I think it'd be more of a defensive deterrent thing as opposed to secret offensive. So I think showing your weapons would be good. In the same sense, when are the UFO? When are we gonna do science? Like when are we gonna do the real stuff? Like when are we gonna do the fun stuff? Oh, I don't have that material. What material? Oh, we've reverse engineered some of them. He one question, and we know he's listening. I'm always fucking listening. You send one thing over here to this guy, to this guy, to this guy through the grapevine, and I will fucking be able to track the whole thing back. The whole fucking thing. I don't care. People telling me to be nice, human or alien, I don't give a fuck. I am the most He's probably more mature than all of us. No, I am. And the biggest pet peeve I have, it's not even a pet peeve, it's torture. Telling me how to behave when you don't. And you're privileged and you can make choices for yourself and I can't. Fuck off. And so I just want to know when we're going to do the real shit. Again, my career is so expansive, I don't give a, again, drop down menu. I've been conceptually operating in aliens are real everywhere, what the fuck is going on for 15 years. And again, the same way people have no idea there's a basic understanding of biology. Thinking we're the center of life is just delusional. And so past that, it's just like people like, we weren't the dumb white bitch. We weren't sure. Thank you for clarifying that. We weren't sure. And I'm not an arrogant, entitled, retarded cunt that has never thought my entire life. I've been tortured, so the only thing I can do is think my entire life. And I have some people that just chase their careers and can't raise their fucking kids trying to tell me how to behave. Alien or not, go fuck yourself. Why the chicken cross the road? I don't know, was it a chicken with its head cut off? Does it want to play chicken? Because I'll cut your fucking head off. Oh, but here's the story for today. This made me sweat a little bit. So I tried to buy RuneScape yesterday. Again, I was going to go and clock in another bedtime about like 6:45 to 7 literally yesterday just because it gets dark and I have nothing else to do. And after I dinner, it's like, what the fuck? But so 6 to 7 o'clock rolls around last night. I'm really just like, fuck it, I'm about to clock in for bedtime. And I say, fuck it, I'm gonna stay up and watch the new episode of Shark Tank. Watch this episode of Shark Tank. None of the products, I was out on all the products. But I played old school RuneScape religiously for a long time, again, while doing derivations and stuff, collecting content, all this stuff I've been doing. Haven't played in a while, wanted to renew my membership. So I put in my debit card information and it says denied. And it says denied again. It says denied again. In old school RuneScape, the payment processing was out of somewhere in England, so maybe that was the thing. But it literally said on the thing, it says call your credit card provider. And so I called them up, and again, I just attempted to buy a $12 video game thing. I'm in a good mood. I'm not raising my voice or angry at all. And this lady picks up, and she says she speaks, and her English is just not clear. And again, after a couple sentences, I legitimately just can't understand what she is saying. Not being mad, not being arrogant, not a Karen in a parking lot yelling at somebody, go back to your country. I literally just can't understand what she is saying with intelligible sounds. And I just say, and I was like, can I speak to somebody else who your English isn't good enough for me to understand? And again, the most normal tone ever, and she gets offended. And I can just sense, again, palpably, viscerally, over the fucking phone, sense that she got offended. I said her English wasn't great. And it wasn't great. I couldn't understand what she was saying. I just tried to spend $12, which is a minuscule charge. I just tried to figure out what's going on. And so, operator 1567563 that mocked me a couple times after, again, you still not being able to speak English properly, so I couldn't really understand your letters, and you got all offended. And I said to her, what a privilege it is to have a fucking job. I didn't swear. In this whole conversation, I didn't swear until the very end. We'll get to that. But again, I'm not raising my voice. I'm just dumbfounded. I'm calling somebody trying to spend my money, and this company that is Ohio-based, supposedly, their operators don't speak English to a point where it's unintelligible. Hey, ma'am, how do I use my debit card? And then she puts me on hold. For a while. And it's just, again, she was just rude and arrogant and inconsiderate. And again, I wasn't being rude for telling her English was bad. She wasn't speaking good English. I exist, I do a normal thing, other people exist, they're 14 years old, they're entitled, they're privileged, they're pathetic. I say one basic thing, that is do your job, and not like commanding you, it's just like, hey, it's not working, and I can't understand what you're saying. Well, don't be, of course you offended me, you said my English was bad, you said fuck you. And so, again, haven't sworn at all, haven't raised my voice at all. I literally said, what a privilege it is to have a job. I'm not being rude to your culture or anything. I just can't understand you. How is that my problem? Then she kind of gets apologetic. But again, in the same way, a 14-year-old girl who knows she's wrong but doesn't want to admit it, she just got all pissy. It's like, okay, can I just talk to somebody that speaks English? Because I'm still just trying to pay $12 to play a fucking video game. And so this other bitch gets on the fucking phone. And you can just tell she is a fat, white, middle-aged fucking cunt. Her voice is all fucking loud. And as someone who's trained their vocal cord, it is the weirdest thing. Hearing an animal just sound like a screeching, a human being, it just sounds like a screeching animal. Hello? Can I help you? Again, clearly siding with her employee. And again, I've not raised my voice, I've not sworn, I've not said anything mean besides this. In a genuine, honest way, someone trying to get customer service, I can't understand what you're saying. And then she was like, well, I see a $12 charge has already gone through, and it was literally $12 and some odd cents to go bowling. So $12 for bowling and $12 for RuneScape, and it's like, so it's like, I thought that one charge went through, and then it was just, I looked at the credit card statement, so it was just the bowling thing, so I was like, it didn't go through. And then she was like, well, you should check with the merchant. And I was like, the merchant's client, the server, literally said to check with my credit card company. So it's like, nobody can do their jobs. And then she just like, again, she's just done with the conversation. I've not said anything mean. I've not said anything arrogant or rude. And then she just goes, thank you for choosing Ohio. Clearly about to hang up. So I just go fucking kill yourself, you dumb bitch. And again, as a go fuck yourself way, not as an incitation of violence or as a way to promote self-harm. I'm just trying to get customer service, and I deal with the most middle-aged, trashy cunts fucking ever. And then it was a genuine thought last night, am I going to get banned from my bank? If I tell someone to go fuck themselves, if they disrespect me, denigrate me, treat me like shit, and this is the only way anybody treats me ever. I am going to be 30 years old next year. Again, I just turned 29 in September. That's 2-3 months ago. Quarter of the way to 30. And it's just seeing all these people, and it's not going to change. People stagnate, they stop fucking growing at all at 18. And then they just die. They never care about themselves, they never have hobbies, they never have skill sets, they don't care about their friends, they never make any friends, they don't give a fuck about their spouses, they cheat on them, they lie, they start wars, they deny fucking science, they violate all of their own fucking laws, and then they say, don't talk about our kids. Well, these are your children. These are your children in action, in practice, trying to do their jobs, and they just can't. They disrespectful, they denigrate me, and I'm just like, I just don't want to be a fucking scapegoat anymore. My old buddy Tim Dune says, we don't have to talk about this anymore, man. It is every 2 days of my life. I haven't had a social interaction with any sort of respect. 10 years. Over that, man. Again, I'm 29. Yeah, over 10 years. Not a single social interaction. I'm like, this was fun. This was enjoyable. Anything besides, this is a bunch of horny animals trying to come because they don't know how to behave. And all those people are going to have jobs and careers. Absolutely fucking not. Tim Dunes has a license to practice medicine from a state that steals from me. So he's part of a racket and a conspiracy. And you know, that's why a person doesn't click on a video and share it publicly. Tim Dune, you're being sued and fuck your family. Your family's fucking trash, and your license to practice medicine is fucking fraudulent. So, I hope you have money for my full price. You were never a fucking friend to me, and your family's fucking trash. So it only seems to get any views when I name people personally. And again, this isn't going to go anywhere. You guys aren't my fucking friends. We were never fucking friends. Your family slandered my fucking name. And now Sam Bankman-Fried might go to jail for a long time, over $10 billion. Alex Jones gets ordered to pay $1 billion for defamation. Full price, guys. And those people won't just put zeros on it. It's going to be a carnival number. I'm not kidding, and fuck you. Nothing will make it fucking more hilarious than putting people in bankruptcy that mocked me for being a drug dealer when I was really getting pushed out of university for doing scientific research. To the point where I endangered my life for 6 years. Thank you to the sales community, the Columbus, Ohio, Mike DeWine, Andrew Ginther, Michael Drake, Elaine Bryant, James Gilbert, Gary Lewis Jr. and your worthless fucking families. Nathan Lewis, Gary Lewis, Nathaniel Lewis, Jared Lewis. Your dumb fucking families. So that was again me trying to spend $12 on a video game and then asking for customer service with somebody that speaks intelligible English in a polite way. Again, not in a mocking way, and I didn't raise my voice, swear, or say anything disrespectful until she literally said, "Thank you for calling Till Ohio." Like, go fuck yourself. Well, go fuck yourself, you fat bitch. Go struggle to pay your fucking mortgage and lose 20 pounds. Dumb bitch. Netherlands versus the United States in the World Cup round of 16. Netherlands wins 3-1. Good. Fuck the United States at all things capacity, and fuck people who play games at all things capacity. But we had the USA men's national teams gives money to the US women's national team for making the round of 16. It was like some X millions of dollars spread about X number of people. What do I think? Now, I just think people should be paid what they generate. They just there was, again, a bunch of things back. I tweeted about this again way back in the day. Probably wasn't in Colorado, but it seemed more back in the day. It seemed more legitimate that the women's national team, if you just generate revenue, get whatever you make. So that seems pretty straightforward to me. And then the last talking point today is Sana Marin. She's not twerking it in the club. She's passed her drugs test. She can still sit on my face. Sana Marin, Finland is officially invited to the... I haven't hosted a G69 summit. I skipped that one this summer because, again, the only nation state invited to that is Brad. The nation state of Brad, which is me, independently. And my GDP will literally dwarf every other country combined. That is the furthest thing from a fucking joke, which is fucking hilarious. One dude running around on a planet like, yeah, I own education, and I really do. Even if you steal everything I've ever done, I really proved all of this shit. You can't open your mouth without needing to cite me in any sort of professional context. So how much is that worth? Well, cool. So again, you have the Americans, they don't want to piss off the Israelis or this or that or this and that. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. There's going to be one dude with way more money than everybody else, and I teach everybody. And your legacy, again, you're not even going to be a name skipped over in a verse in a book. You're going to be a fucking Judas. But Sana Marin, Finland is officially as a very attractive prime minister. Sana Marin, Finland is invited to attend the G69 summit next time I host it. But she says the Ukraine war shows Europe too reliant on U.S. Again, I don't know the history. Again, I'm a historian. Been just like operative war stuff. Again, Volodymyr and Vladimir, stop it. Vladimir, go off yourself, you stupid fuck. I heard you fell down the stairs and shit yourself or something, buddy. I'll get mad, no one chuck me, I don't care, I teach everybody. You're really gonna get offended that I teach your whole country how to fucking behave? I don't know, do your thing, bro. Seriously, I hate my life. My life is shit. I drop dicks and tits on the board and try to figure out how to pronounce K-book. 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 No? Quebec. It's not Quebec. No. Quebecois. So not much to say, but I would like to formally invite Sana Marin to the next G69 summit. We could test out 69ing. And yeah, sorry for the shooting alarm. I thought it was another mass shooter breaking in, but it was just my cousin murking my sister, or my nephew murking my sister over the VR headset. I love his sister, just a skip. But that is it for today. Oh, yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching Language Litigation Integration Part 165, Casual Conversations 83. See you on the next one.